I'm so excited to get to talk to this guy. Hi, I'm Stuart Shepard, host of First Liberty Live with First Liberty Institute. You, of course, recognize Coach Joe Kennedy, one of our clients. Former client, I have to say now.
That hurts my feelings.
Well,
I'm so family.
We still hang out. We're still friends. But before we even get to talking, first, I want you to get to see the trailer for the film called Average Joe.
We ready? I've been fighting my whole life.
Joseph Anthony Kennedy.
I was a hellion of a kid who nobody wanted.
1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps.
So, if you told me that saying a prayer on the 50-yard line was the thing that was going to get me in the biggest fight of my life, you cannot tell me that God doesn't have a sense of humor.
Denise, could I see you in my office for a minute, please?
I want you to pray in the locker room.
Do you not see how absurd this is?
Kennedy, do your job and get them in the locker room.
I get it. It's not fair. Nobody cared for 7 years. Now they do.
I bet you can guess where this is going. I made a promise to God. I can't let him down.
I believe they violated your rights.
How do you think the superintendent looked at me when I didn't even know my husband had filed a complaint?
We can't quit now.
But God doesn't need you to defend him.
I'm not defending God. I'm defending the people of this country.
Yeah, the same people who are sending us hate mail.
And that is their right.
This case is going to take years to litigate, and there's no guarantee a judge is going to rule in your favor. Are you up for that kind of fight?
You're appealing to the Supreme Court?
I can't stop. Not now.
It's been 3 years of our lives turned completely upside down. I have been the collateral damage to this whole thing.
Will you finish this with me? Because I can't do it without you.
What is it going to take before your husband gives up this ridiculous crusade of his?
I really don't appreciate your tone. And don't you ever speak to me about my husband that way again. I don't remember any fireworks.
That's exactly how I remember it.
No,
You can
no.
decide later which way to film it.
I'm proud of you, no matter what happens.
The one thing everyone needs to know is that it's all her fault.
What?
You're the one who taught me that there are still things worth fighting for. Hoorah!
I think it should be called Average Joe and Awesome Denise because she is such a big part of this story.
Yeah, it's a real love story about us two and our lives. When we first started the movie with the screenplay and everything, it was mostly about my story, which really is not really that incredible.
I think it is.
But you would see Denise's story with it and how we intertwined from the very beginning and everything we went through. It's really our story, and I'm so blessed that that's what's really happening, is that they wrote her into it so much more. And I don't know what you would call it, but that was already the title, so sorry, couldn't change it, but it is very much us.
That's how I will always refer to it, is with the Awesome Denise afterward. And that to me, having heard your story, is so important because there was a time when she wasn't on board with doing a lawsuit, and that all changed. Tell me about that transition.
Yeah, that's a real nice way of putting it. We almost got divorced over everything, and it was really bad. You know, she worked for the school district. She was the human resource director, so that caused a little bit of friction in
Kind of
our family.
awkward?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And, you know, we just got farther and farther apart. She couldn't understand why this religious liberty was so important to me and why the Constitution means so much. She grew up in the church and she knew about love and she never wanted to offend anybody. Fighting is not part of her nature. Yeah. But me being a Marine and standing up for the Constitution, that's what was my driving force. So that's where we met and that's where our break was. And it wasn't until the guys that did Facing the Giants sent us a video as actually we were breaking up, and I was walking out of the house.
Wow.
And it took, God to the 11th hour, 59 minutes and 59 seconds, but he showed up right at the right time, and the Kendrick brothers sent this message, and Denise and I watched it together. She instantly understood. Her eyes were just instantly open to this was really a God thing, and she saw how she fit into it, and where two became one, and that's exactly what our marriage did, and we were healed with God.
And that's what allowed you to go through 7 years of court?
Well, I think it was 8 years and 9 years, so I got back on the football field.
Yeah.
It was eternity.
It was just a year ago, September 1st of last year, that you returned to Bremerton High School, went back to work. I'm sure that was awkward. But at the first home game, you got to go out on the field, took a knee on the 50 by yourself, and it was a quiet exclamation point on all those years of battle in the courts. Help us see that moment through your eyes. What was it like being you on that field?
Well, I was terrified. I mean, we've talked for years. Everything's been building up for this one single moment, and walking out to the middle of the field where it was going to be a big spectacle now when it really wasn't a big deal to start with.
Yeah.
This was just a prayer on a football field. But that was the cool thing. All my fear was just put to rest when you were at the game. It was so perfect that everybody forgot about the game or forgot about the coach, and they were looking at the game. And I was able to just walk out to the 50-yard line, took a knee, and nobody even noticed. And that was the answer to all my prayers, because that's what I asked for, be a coach and to be able to pray. Those are the only two things that I wanted, and God delivered those in just perfect form.
And as you mentioned, I got to watch it from the stands, and I was surprised how emotional I got, because I thought, I'm here to get a picture and get some video, but I knew the story, and that's what made that moment so poignant. But then on reflection, I realized how unremarkable it was. It's just a guy going out on the field and saying a prayer for his team, and it should be unremarkable.
Exactly. That's exactly what I've said from the beginning. Why did this go to court? Why was this in the news? This was somebody taking a knee on a football field. You should never think anything of it. This is America. We should be able to have our faith, and we should be able to practice no matter where we are. So it should just be an everyday thing. Oh, a guy's praying, cool, and walk off, and not a big deal.
Okay, the film is called Average Joe. It is a dramatization of your life story, so it's not a boring documentary. They kind of dress it up a bit.
Very not boring.
And it was about the second or third time I watched the trailer, I realized, oh wait, the name of the school has changed, and the mascot is different, and the colors are different. Knowing all that, how close is it to your actual story? When people watch it, will they get a feel for what it was like?
Oh, yeah. I would say about 98% was just right on to my conversations with the atheist. It's sitting in a diner. They really did well in keeping true to our story.
Yeah.
They took a little highlights with a couple things, just to make it a little more grand.
It's a movie.
But they had to scale so much of it back. If they would, I don't even know what it would have been rated if it was a real life story.
Yeah. There were some troubling times in your youth, and a lot of people may not realize that even now, but you were not a preacher's kid. You had some tough days, Joe Kennedy.
Yeah, you and I walked through the same town. You saw where I grew up. You heard my stories, and yeah, I was terrible. I was a horrible, horrible kid. I would have beat the heck out of myself if I would have met me. I was horrible.
My mom would not have let me hang out with you.
No, definitely not. For good reason.
Yeah. But then it changed. Tell me what changed. What brought you to be the man that you are today?
And that really, simply is God. And so I met with Denise. We got married. We weren't evenly yoked. I was an atheist. She was a good church girl. And that was a huge clash. And we just could not survive that way. And it came to the point where I needed something beyond myself. I cannot do this by myself. And she couldn't trust me because I was relying on myself as just a man. Yeah. But when I surrendered finally everything to God, she instantly saw that, wow, I'm going to fall under that umbrella. He's willing to submit everything for this relationship. And our marriage was, I think absolutely perfect for a little while there. Yeah. Because we were in the right frame. God was the center of it, and we just had to keep focus on him.
Yeah. We've been friends for years now, so I have to ask this, and this is not really, an official formal question, but how weird is it having a movie made about yourself?
Oh my God, it's the weirdest thing in the world. And it's kind of scary too, not for my aspect of it, but for my wife. Her entire life, our whole life is going to be on the big screen nationwide.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing for our family, our kids, everything that we went through, my team. I mean, there's going to be so many people that are going to remember all these times, my Marine buddies, everything. So yeah, this brings up a lot of weird stuff for me.
I noticed when I haven't seen the movie yet, so I'm a fan at this point, but I have seen the trailer, and it surprised me how well the guy who plays you captured the cadence of your voice. There are points where I thought maybe they used your voice in the trailer.
Well, that was a funny thing. I sat down with Eric Close, the guy who played me, and I always said any idiot could play me. I mean, not real complicated. We sat down for lunch, and even before lunch was over, he goes, I think I got you figured out.
Really?
That's how simple I was. Now, Amy Acker, who's playing Denise, spent a lot of time with Denise. She really wanted to get all those intimate moments, the heartbreak, all of those things. It was incredible to see, and to put those two together was just a great combination.
And she's an actress who gets complexity. I remember her from Person of Interest, where she played a very complex character, and she played it very, very well.
Oh yeah, I've seen her in a bunch of different things. I mean, I had a crush on her when she was on Angel back, whatever that was in the 90s. Yeah. So I followed her since, the beginning.
A lot of people are going to go to this movie. It's going to be on in October. We'll give you more detail here in a second about where to find out where to buy tickets and all. There are going to be thousands and thousands of people who get to see this. When the lights come up and the movie's done and they're headed back to the car, what do you hope they take home with them?
I want them to be inspired that if this average guy actually became something and could change everything, this should inspire people. When I saw Rocky coming out of the theater, I thought I could take on the world. I want people to feel that, and I want a lot of people that are in relationships to see that no matter what you're going through. I mean, I can't think of too many things that are worse than what we went through, but it shows that every relationship can be healed, and as long as you stay centered with God, it should inspire all the people to be able to stand up and do what's right.
Outstanding. Anything else you want to share before I let you go?
I hope you guys like it. Let me know.
I am proud of you. As an organization, we are proud of you because it is a big deal to hang in through all of those years of fighting the battle in court. It puts a lot of stress on families, as you've talked about, and we're just proud of you. And you have literally, and it's something to think about because I know the guy that did this. You've changed how courts all over America look at religious expression in public. That's you. You got to do that.
No, that's us, because First Liberty is very much involved in the movie, as you know.
I saw the attorney they picked. It looks like they took Mike and Jeremy and just squashed
molded
them
them together. Yes, exactly.
Okay, it premieres October 11th, although Thursday night on the 10th. I know some theaters are going to be showing it. Tickets are available online. Where can they find out more about it? Where should they go?
EveryShowMovie.com. We wanted it to be very simple, and you can see the trailer on there also.
I am looking forward to seeing it. I'm going to be at the premiere with Joe in Hollywood coming up on October 1st, and we will be doing a live episode of First Liberty Live from there and sharing some of the highlights from there. Joe, always great talking to you. Thanks for making time for us.
Love you.